Tom, are you ready to argue? Are you ready to get pissed off?
I'm ready. I'm ready to hate. I'm ready to gnaw my teeth and gnash my teeth, and kill and murder online for sport. So
when you read manga, you have two choices. You can take two paths. You can take a physical path, or you can take a digital path. One of us prefers one, and the other prefers the other.
Yeah, one of us slightly prefers the other, but we're really strongly opinionated about this. Sam, I pretty much solely read physical manga. That's who I am, and it's something that I have trouble committing to, even though I have the Shonen Jump subscription. Committing to actually reading on the app or on the computer or anything. I usually don't. I usually like to actually read it in my hand physically. So what's your position then? If I'm setting mine.
So I'm pro digital. So I'm extremely pro digital. I have I will say four major reasons why I personally prefer reading digitally.
This might be our biggest difference in our manga hobby, right? Is this aspect of it?
Is how we actually go about consuming it. Because I'll say this, I started really reading manga. I have some series that I read in junior high, rented from the library and stuff like that of course were physical. But when my current manga era that I've been in since like 2020, it's all been digital. And most of that, many of years, were just on the iPhone. And then I upgraded to the iPad in like early 2024 or something like that. And then I do most of my reading on that. And then if I'm out and about, I'll read on my phone. Here's four reasons why I personally prefer to read digitally. Number one is access. You have so much more access to essentially any series you want to read. Tom, as a physical reader, or at least right now with your current power level, you only read English manga. So you're limited to what's been translated in English and localized officially and printed physically. So the pool of stories that you have access to is smaller. With digital, you have the options to read scanlations, translations from other fans and people online,
chapter by
which
chapter
opens up
to official release. Yeah.
Exactly. You can also read quicker translations too, if that's your speed. I like the when there's official translations, I like to just wait for them. But if there isn't any, then you at least have a chance if someone actually decided to take on the series, which a good chunk of series out there do have some level of a basic translation. So I'd say that's one. The second is the cost factor. If you want to read from a legality perspective, the Shonen Jump app is $4 a month. The Viz app is like $3 a month, and the Manga Plus app, which gets you which basically has the exact same content from the Plus app or the Shonen Jump app plus a bunch of other shit, is like $5 or $6 a month. It's negligible. That's negligible in 2025 bucks. And then again, beyond that, you don't have to spend any money if you're reading scanlations or shit like that. Where if you're reading physical manga, it's going to cost you like $10. Or we talked about the Dark Horse volume, $50 for 2 volumes worth of.
I've been complaining about physical manga earlier,
and then those are more like the access and cost perspective. My other two more minor, but I feel like worthwhile. This is something I really wanted to pick your brain about. Is these two things. And I have to kind of make my points. I have a physical copy of My Beloved Kagurabachi. This is the first volume.
Let's put a pin in that word, and I'll bring it back, but you continue.
I want to say the first thing I wanted to bring up is you don't get color pages. All the color pages are kind of become these like grayscaled, more detailed looking pages, which, it's not horrible. But if you are reading the digital version, whenever there is a color page or a lead color page where the first page is all in color, if you're reading it months after the fact, you still get to see that. Where if you're reading the Tankobon, that's that. Of course, not every series has color pages or uses color like that. But the other example I wanted to point out, and this is one that is a bit more troublesome to me, is whenever you are reading, and here let me find an example, is I am not crazy about when you have a spread and the center of the image is always condensed and you never can get a clear picture fully, where when you read it digitally, all you need to do is just flip your device horizontally and then you can see the picture in full glory, no weird condensing or anything like that. So for those reasons it's a bit more comfortable to read digitally because of that. Where that is like I have to like look at it a bit. That's my main complaints. Those are my main X-nays against physical.
It's cost, accessibility, lack of color, and the spread pages, right?
Yeah, lack of color, and then just the spread pages not being as clean.
Okay. First, accessibility. Let's address that.
Sure.
I don't need accessibility. We've been promised, look at me go. We've been promised convenience and accessibility from every subscription app for every piece of media you could ever enjoy, whether it's Netflix or Show to Jump app. I would rather have a different value system than accessibility. Intentional. Sam, my choice of manga is very intentional. When I read manga is very intentional because I have to buy it. I have to then pick it off the shelf. I have to bring it with me and I have to read it in the hand. So one thing I like about the inaccessibility of physical manga is what I read is very intentional, and when I read is very intentional. Become the habitual practice of reading manga almost becomes like this meditative kind of peaceful, serene experience. Not only because of like I don't spend time choosing what to read and looking at me overwhelmed with choice, but also I'm not on my freaking phone or iPad. There's no risk. This is not an Xbox One. It can't do everything.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
it is one thing. There's no web app. I read the manga. So that's counterpoint one.
So I'd like to.
Yes,
so reverse counterpoint. What I like about the digital aspect is the immediacy of the second a chapter is available, getting to read it. And that's not only for series that like we're caught up with or going to be caught up with or whatever, but like I like with the immediacy is I feel like I get, even though I literally am not this because I'm not Japanese and I don't live in Japan and I don't submit a reader survey. I feel like I'm a tastemaker because I get to read the early shit where unfortunately from a physical perspective, if you're waiting for something, you are only given the shit that has been like, this made it through the threshold. And it's getting a physical version where I just get to read shit. Now we are lucky. There are series that have been canceled that do get a physical series, but then there's stuff like Super Psychic Policeman Shoujo. I love that series. Went for several volumes. We never got it localized. Me and Roboco has never been like localized physically. The only way it is localized digitally, officially, just not just not with the physical volumes. So it's like a shame you wouldn't be able to read that shit. That'd be unfortunate.
Right. So you do sacrifice the weekliness of it and the like you don't get everything. One, I kind of like the filter of that too. But I tend to not like, even when it's digital content, like an anime that comes out, or even when I read manga digitally, like I'm a binger anyway. I usually want to read a volume-esque amount of content anyway, and then I'm usually done reading after that volume. So two things to that, though. Two extra additional things to that point about immediacy. I have been there are a few series that I actively collect that are ongoing physical releases. So things that I couldn't finish if I wanted to because the next volume's not out yet. it has become more than a weekly ritual that you have with Shonen Jump. It is now a almost surprise seasonal experience of mine, because I usually wait for like a Barnes and Noble pre-order 25% off deal, and I just get uh, everything they got. So if I'm collecting a series like Asadora by Naoko Urasawa, that's an ongoing one. I'll just pre-order as many as they have available. Usually it's like 3 or 4 at once you can pre-order,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll get those 4 over the next year, and it'll just come in the mail, Sam. What a beautiful, like, it's, I don't even know when.
It's a great
I don't
surprise.
even know the release date. Sometimes they just TBA. I don't even know the cover art because it's usually so far in advance. Sam, oh, you have no idea the joy that when the season of my life comes around, when the new Asadora volume comes to the front door, I didn't even know. So there's time for, there's intention. There's also surprise and delight with that too, that I find really, really part of the, what I would call the sensorial benefits of manga physical reading. So I talked about the intentional, so that's more kind of psychological aspects of it I enjoy. But Sam, when I open that box from Barnes and Noble, not only do I get to see the color of that new manga, I get to smell that new book.
Oh yeah,
smell.
those fresh pages. Yeah, they do smell quite good.
Oh my goodness! I mean, it's almost. I wish there needs to be a car air freshener based on new manga smell.
New manga smell.
I would die. I would want that physically, because it really, and the flipping through. I mean, it just feels nice to flip through. It's nice to look at. And then, your beloved Kagurabashi. Well, what's one way to really get connected intimately with the series is to own it, to have that connected intimacy ownership of it. I think that's part of the one reason why it's beloved for you, is that you have it in your house and you look at it all the time.
And I will say too, and this doesn't go for every single series that gets a volume release like this, but for Kagurabachi, there's extra like art, there's extra like art pieces in the back, in bonus like little comics like that. The art is improved in some chapters, like he went back and they update the panels. And sometimes that's like you really
got me on that. I was going to be a point later of like, and often they've made it better for the actual physical release than what you read in the weekly. Second,
exactly, yeah, you get almost like a first draft in the sense.
If you're buying older manga, it's not going to actually be that expensive. Like very popular old manga, like, yeah, is it going to be more than $4.99 for 1 month? Yeah, but for a longer series, you're going to need multiple months. You're going to be reading the manga. That adds up. But let's say you just want to read Dragon Ball,
Yeah.
They got these Omni, buses. I think I paid $5 a piece for these, and I have all of Dragon Ball.
And is it because it's 18 for Dragon Ball OG, right?
And you can continue this with Z. They did this whole series with Z as well. But here's the thing. You know what you get when you start collecting a series like Dragon Ball? And this is my trump card. I have more. I do have more. But this is a trump card, Sam. You know what you don't get with digital? How fun is that?
Well,
how fun is that?
Yeah, that's pretty,
on your shelf.
That's pretty exciting.
You don't get that.
I will say, like, there is something to having the physical product as an actual like display piece and stuff too.
Yes. So I brought a new physical. This is a brand new physical series, an out of print manga from many years. We haven't seen it at all. It's getting a new translation. It's coming from our friends at Kodansha. We have Mushishi.
Oh, Mushishi!
This just came out very recently this year, and it's only 1 volume so far. By the way, pre-order the next 3, and guess what? Those are going to be fun Christmas days when Santa brings those to me, Sam. Collector's edition. Oh, where are my colored pages? Actually, I don't know if Mushishi has them. Maybe they don't. But okay, that's funny. Cut that out. But like, you get this beautiful hardcover, gorgeous art. You get all the bells and whistles of the art looking great. You get even these little inner kind of back, I don't even know, it's back cover art
Yeah.
throughout it.
The extra little art pieces that just kind
that
of fill out
it
those pages.
that are
so
just
nice.
made usually for uniquely for this. And there's still usually omnibus. Oh, here we go. I found one. There is. I should have put a bookmark, Sam, for the colored pages. You get some of these beautiful. And tell me, yeah, okay.
Oh, so well done.
I know. There's
so
a little
done.
crease in the middle. I guess what can you do about that? But you know what? For most of them, they were designed with that crease in mind. Only recently, now that things are more digitized, that is now probably more of a problem.
Yeah. Because more people, even the Japanese audience, are reading this stuff digitally.
And so there, when you kind of get something special like this, and do you see? By the way, we have. Hopefully, this comes out after the Dark Horse. Isn't this a much better cover? This is what I'm talking about.
It's so. I was gonna bring it up.
Spine.
It looks so much better.
Dark Horse, okay, and it's not 7,000 pounds. It's not huge. Okay, maybe this could be an addendum.
Was the price comparable? It's
$20 cheaper.
Oh my god! See that? Yeah, that looks like it's worth $30. Like
so,
one.
These are kind of some of the points, right? That I would say I get digital. The value of it is useful, and if you're collecting One Piece from beginning, that is tough. But what I learned is it becomes a treat when you know what? I'm gonna go out to my local cafe and bring a volume of One Piece, and it's almost like I'm on an island, Sam. And I can't. No, there's nothing else I could do but bring this. Leave the phone at home. I'm trying to kill this phone. These phones, these iPads, they're the devil. I want to get off of them. And there's a ritual to this that I enjoy as well. And so that's my counterpoints. Though I don't even really disagree with your pros. You're missing out. You're missing out on the pros of the other.
I think there's definitely, and I think too I think the best way to do it is the hybrid the hybrid approach. Usually, I read most of my stuff digitally, and then the stuff that I really like or connect with, I'll pick up physical versions of. That's probably what I will do. Just the series that I really care about or have a lot of emotional
or that you want to reread one day.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Tom, it's going to be a huge point of contention on the show for many years. If you just refuse to read week to week One Piece, can I say something about that? When you catch up,
I also think
please.
Type of manga we read is very informed by our choices of physical versus digital. Again,
I would agree with that.
I tend to read things that aren't Jump, and that's why I'm kind of ignorant about Jump, because one, Viz is cranking that up, and because I know the Jump app is available, and so I usually actually will just if I will read some Jump, but not everything has an app that's really accessible. They only have You're missing a lot of manga by just being in the Jump ecosystem, where like Kodansha's Mushishi really like that. Okay, now I'm reading that, instead, and I think that allows me to you go to the store. It's almost like you're on the Jump app at the store. You're looking at what you have available to you, and you sometimes you leave with something you don't. So yeah, the cost is undeniable, but you can read
and
more.
I will say totally, and I will say I do read the most amount. I don't read only Jump. I do not want to be I do not want to be labeled as someone
those
I do, because
it's so convenient.
And it's just it's my default. If I want to read some manga, I do go to the Shonen Jump app, and that has caused me because there's been great series that I've read or have read or started reading on Manga Plus that I fell off of reading week to week just because I forget to open the app.
Here's my critique though of the apps, because I was an app user. I caught up on One Piece mostly. The first 800 chapters I caught up with the Jump app. If you're just gonna buy an iPad for a manga, which we recommend, it's probably the best option. You have to buy a relatively new iPad, unfortunately. I had an old iPad I was using for Shonen Jump app subscription. And guess what? I was so excited. I got an old iPad. the app is not supported on this iOS, blah blah
Oh
blah.
yeah,
Okay, I'll use the browser. And guess what? The browser, Sam, sucks.
it's
It
not good.
sucks
Not
to
good.
read. So now I have to get a
Oh yeah,
new. I have to get like a relative. I have to spend a few $100s to get an iPad that has the iOS that supports the app already. Like that's frustrating to me.
it's not. Yeah, it's not great yet. Maybe there could be like, I'm not sure if there's any like good Android tablets out there for like 400, $500 from that are like relatively like that's a bigger screen but lower
because
power.
iPad has
but
the screen size you want, the quality of the screen you want, but your old one. So like if you're getting into manga brand new, yes, the Shonen Jump app you can use on your desktop and you use on your phone. So you can, yes, but the best way is the iPad. So yeah, $4.99 a month, but you need to get an iPad too. That's my ideal.
yeah,
I agree with you. That's the ideal way to read it. But you need the newest enough ones for Shonen Jump to work. Where you could just buy a couple used volumes of Dragon Ball, and guess what? You're probably having a great time at $5 a
oh yeah,
pop.
definitely.
The first 9 volumes of it. That'll take you a while to get through either way, and you're being really intentional about what you read. So that's my critique of the apps in particular.
Yeah, and I think too, like, and I remember too for One Piece specifically, right around right, it's like right before, like right in Impel Down to like middle of Punk Hazard. There's like weird, they have some issue like cropping issues. So like, whenever you do flip it over, it's not the clean page that it should be. Like the scanning wasn't perfect. So, with some of the older series, you run into some of that shit, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I do want more because like Kodansha does have an app. I have problems.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of the other apps,
on it.
Shonen Jump is the peak. A lot of the other apps stuck.
They just get it. They just know how to fucking do it. Pay the money.
Yet.
Yeah. So it's my hope is other companies get with the program and start bringing their shit over like pretty soon, like close to day and date, if not quite, because that's the other thing too about Jump is you don't gotta wait too long for it to get released in English officially from their own team. And they're not fucking perfect. They got fucking problems. Every week I always find a fucking typo.
Yeah.
Because I read all the series now, I always find a fucking typo.
No, especially older, but even physical, especially older ones, you'll find a lot of typos too. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
My God,
but
yeah.
I guess that's one thing. I also think the last thing I'll mention is used manga, old manga from I'm talking like Tokyo Pop, like 2001. It just transports you back. The series that they're advertising, the back cover, the look, the advertising, the slogans, the series themselves are also usually very of the era.
Yeah.
Like there's something about that. It's like putting in a VHS tape,
it brings you back.
There's a nostalgic, or even like secondhand nostalgia to go into a bookstore, especially used one, looking at all the manga they got, and seeing like especially used one, the old series. I kind of get addicted to that feeling where just scrolling through an app, I mostly just spend the time favoriting ones I'm going to read and then not going to read any. So, but I agree. I think I read more manga if I had the accessibility, the cost, all those things. Because nothing worse than buying manga and not reading it anyway, because it just goes out the window. But, so I think I need to come a bit your way as well. I think we both agree maybe in that respect.
Yeah, and I definitely like because again I'm about halfway through the first volume and I have the first 5 in my possession. And I was reading it because I wanted to read a little bit physical before we had this conversation, and I did get I do get a kick out of smaller form factor, and I will say this: I love reading outside. It is so much nicer to read a physical edition outside than the digital with the fucking sun glare and shit. Oh my God, it's such a pain in the ass. I had to get I have a whole ass umbrella set up on my balcony just so I can read manga.
It's funny. I haven't even done that enough to know that was a problem. So thank you for adding to that.
So yeah, there's a little pro physical for you. But yeah, so anyways, tell us which side you're on in the comments below. We want to hear it.
Debate continue. Hope maybe we'll
yes, please
update.
let it rage on below.